Good morning, good morning, good morning. What up, family? This is La Santera coming at you live from Providence, Rhode Island. It is Tuesday, August 13th, 2019. And yeah, I'm coming to you live at my daughter's grandparents' house. I came to visit and just bring some love to Court's grandmother, who lives here by herself. And I decided that I wanted to record today's podcast in the basement of her house. And there's something eerie about basements, right? Sometimes a basement can feel scary, and this house is incredibly dark. There's a lot of paneling going on throughout the house. It's very old in that way, in terms of the architecture and design. And there's something about the basement that I thought was really important, because when it comes to doing this spiritual work, this healing work, this divination work, what a wonderful metaphor for cleaning up our lives, cleaning up our mess, and starting from the basement, decluttering from the basement, decluttering from those spaces in our life that have held us back. And so I decided that I wanted, in honor of Courtney's papa, I'm gonna do a little smoking because he smoked. Opening up this space, sending that energy to him. Maferefunegun, bendiciones, Sir Ernest A. Today we're going to go to the cemetery and pay him a little visit and bring him some Dunkin' Donuts coffee. That was his thing. He used to take rides every night to go and get his coffee. So we're going to bring him some coffee and a donut and chill and talk to him a little bit about what's been going on, so that my ex-mother-in-law could see her husband. In some of the message in some of the recordings that I've posted, and I talk about the ancestors, how we honor them is keeping their memory alive. How we honor them is by giving thanks. And so I'm in this basement, and I walked around, asking for his permission to be in his space, because this would be where he would come down every day to smoke and chill and paint. He used to restore incredible art, incredible pieces. He was working on a restoration project for a church here in Providence, St. Anne's, where my daughter received a lot of her sacraments. And so he used to restore these beautiful statues, and I went into his workroom just to kind of be in that space and see all of his tools, like the way he left them. It's been 5 years, so it's been really hard for his wife to get on and do this thing alone. And so and bendiciones, Ernest. So let's jump in, our card. So today, 2 cards jumped out before I even pulled one out, and they were for me. And so I decided that I wanted to show them and share them because I thought they were really beautiful. And the first one was MAMBO, the Congo MAMBO, who for me feels and looks so much like how I would imagine Yemaya, Maya. So the MAMBO card, this MAMBO card, is the Queen of Cups. And so this is, a very, very mothering, nurturing symbol. So for me, I connect this MAMBO as a priestess, as a validation for myself and the work that I'm doing and how I nurture and lift and am caring, right? I care about people. I care about our healing, our communal healing. And so this is just connected to, being intuitive and being in flow, and just that I'm incredibly blessed to be doing what I love, which is to serve and answering my call. And as the Queen of Cups too, this card is about taking my seat at the throne. So taking your seat at the throne. I will share that message. Take your seat at the throne. This is Queen Mother energy, and it's about holding space for others, right? Which I do, but also how we access our own intuition, right? The next card is that came up for me that jumped out. They were two at the same time. Was this Petro MASA La Flambeau. This is the 9 of Wands. So this is about strong emotional energy bubbling up at the surface. This is hidden passion, rapid, unpredictable change, and strength through balance. Again, this card comes up. It came up last week. And so the wands are coming up to tell us that change is coming quick and that we need to be persistent, resilient, have courage, and establish boundaries. Boundaries has been coming up for me a lot. I actually replayed a card that I replayed a video that I recorded with Baby E on boundaries, and it just made me smile so much. This card comes up for me as a reminder that I'm getting close to the finish line, right? That I am doing the work, I'm being called to stay on track, and that all that I have been working on will come to fruition. And so that's amazing. Basically, this card is saying that everything happens in divine order and right on time. I won't see it coming. So I can share that with you. If you've been doing the work, know that this card is coming up to say that it will come to fruition in divine order and right on time. Not when we want it, when the universe deems it, right? Your card. So this card came up full force, was a Radha SIMBI card. 8 of Swords. Message here, don't force it. Don't force things. We're being called to be patient. Wait for it. Forcing things leads to unfavorable outcomes. Keep it simple, one step at a time. Don't skip steps. This card, this SIMBI card is saying that we are quick to give up. There are no shortcuts. And it's saying, don't give up quickly because you aren't seeing the fruits of your labor in the immediate. We are quick to question God, the goddesses, the universe. Why? We've been putting in all this work. We've been doing all this. We see all of these other people getting published and having success and éxito y frutos. And when is mine coming? The fact that we're even saying that means that we're questioning the universe and how it works and how our blessings come. If you've been doing the work, know that it's coming, you know? And it's the last thing I wrote was the universe doesn't work on our time. That's all about ego. Also, this card is saying that we need to be careful. We need to be careful with our negative thoughts and self-imposed restrictions, imprisonment, victim mentality. I really like those messages, that warning for you, because it's saying that you're feeling trapped, you're feeling stuck, you can't seem to shake off these limiting beliefs, and you're keeping yourself from moving forward with your life. This card, this SIMBI, shows up to tell us that we need, in order to change our life, we need to change our minds. And I know that that's easier said than done, that some of us get really stuck on, those old beliefs and those old messages. And it's real easy for someone to say, just change it, just think positive thoughts. That is a practice and a discipline that requires constant tending to. It's not just setting up an altar one day and then you think that all of your blessings are going to come. It's showing up to the altar every day. It's communing every day. It's practicing every day. It's honoring every day. It's loving on ourselves. This card comes up to tell us that we're living in a mental incarceration right now. And this is decades of trauma. Know that this is what we're carrying, what we're moving with is not just ours. We've inherited it. It was passed down, right? And so how do we undo generational trauma? One day at a time, one practice at a time, healing one thing at a time. Negative thoughts, how does it serve us? How do our negative thoughts serve us? Right? So we're being called to find new ways of thinking. And this is the practices, the spiritual things that we're trying to connect to. The messages that we hear, even these in the tarot deck, right? In the tarot cards, this divination, it's a reminder, it's a check-in, it's a thermostat, right? And the needle is pointing us to look here and do the work here. Start in the basement And it's okay to ask for help. If you can't do it alone, reach out to people, right? I'm a Santera. Reach out to me. Reach out to advisors, to counselors, to therapists, to healers, to yoga instructors. Reach out. We don't have to do this on our own. I think in a lot of my spiritual practice, I believe that I had to do it on my own, that there was no one that was going to give me what I needed, no church, no group, no congregation, no. And what I had to discover, what I learned is that my practice is mine. The way I commune with the universe, with God, with Olofi, Olorun, Oludumare, Los Santos, Los Orisha, Los Loas, is a personal form of communing. No one can teach you that. It is intuitive. And so this idea that we're stuck and trapped, we are. Even I get stuck I get stuck. I feel trapped sometimes. When I go through my phases of depression, when a moment brings me down and I stay there, that's me in the basement. And so I'm being called to look at some things in the basement that are still living inside of me. And so find your joy, find ways to connect and listen to your intuition, because you have an inner guide. You have a true north. Figure out what that looks like for you. And if you need help, I'm here. If you want a full reading, hit me up, lasantera.nyc@gmail.com. I hope you enjoyed your reading. I really enjoyed today's reading. I love being here in Ernesto's basement. It feels really good. And so have an amazing day, family. See you tomorrow. Peace.